Hey guys, welcome to another episode of All Bass Creations, effects, tutorials, demos, and review. Hope you guys are having a wonderful day as usual. Usual. So, we go ahead and get started here. Definitely appreciate y'all hanging out. Make sure you hit that like button as y'all coming in. But, so, as you can see, I finally got my EHX POG 3 back, right? And this is absolutely, long as they worked out that little bug there where it freezes, that was the issue I had, which seems they have, because they started off on firmware like 50 something when I got it. Then I upgraded to firmware 72, and now it's on firmware 82. So they did quite a bit of work to try to make sure it doesn't keep having that issue. So we'll see. We'll give it a few weeks. When it's working properly, it just sounds so good. Right? So one of the other hidden features that I haven't seen anybody really talk about too much is the fact that this thing can be played as an organ and synth module. So, for instance, I can just like the Enzo X, I can switch between bass and or whatever instrument I have going into it, and I can do MIDI simultaneously. So, say I wanted to play that. Oh, gotta turn my bass on. I can literally play them both at the same time. And all this, that literally is let me turn off the patches I have on here. This off already. So, you can actually play the POG 3 with a keyboard. And you even got like a built-in Leslie type effect built into the D-tune. So that's, come on now. Like, yes, I had that little hiccup with the POG 3. If you've been watching the channel for a while, you already know that, a lot of you guys have asked, where's the POG 3 at? But that is an amazing feature. You know what I'm saying? On that, definitely, it's already got way more features than every other Octaver that's out. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't have as many octaves as the Hog 2. The Hog 2 actually has 10 different octaves, but you never really use all those octaves. You know what I'm saying? So that's not that big of a deal. And if I need additional octaves, I can use the Enzo X or the Mercury X to do so. If I really, need that. But the fact that I can sit here and play this, and not only that, I don't have to have the preset specific to, mind you, I have all this on my foot switches. I'm still getting used to switching over to the Graviton M1. And, all these pedals are kind of new to me. The Future Impact, POG 3, Enzo X, Mercury X, even the ToneX ones are brand new, MXR bass synth. I've had got that stuff all recently within a year. So, that ain't it. So let's see what we got. You can actually, all the patches I've made, I'm going to go to the patches I made. You can actually play all of these with a keyboard. And that's actually my octave down sound. but I can also use it for key bass. And it even responds to the pitch bend. Right? And the mod wheel. I can go create this chorus for my bass, and I can play it. This is what it sounds like on the actual bass. That's a really big chorus sound. Let me make sure I don't have anything else on. I feel like I'm still getting some chorus. So. There we go. There you go. Let me put on a bass, nice bass setting here. A new, wrong one. Boop boop. So let's go to clean bass here. And if you notice, it really lets that natural tone come through too. Still while it's a chorus. Here's my bass without it. With it. So, a very nice big chorus. What's going on, folks? Appreciate you chiming in. Feel free to chime in, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. This is what we do over here. We going through. We always got something new for you guys. And this is, if you know me, Electro Harmonics, as you can see, is one of my favorite pedal companies. And, you know, I'm guessing the only reason I haven't heard too much about the POG 3 so far is just because they had that little firmware issue where it was freezing on the startup at times. But I really feel like they've managed to get that worked out here. But like I said, even that chorus sound, I can play it with MIDI. And another thing that I love about the POG 3, you have, you can change these octaves as well. So they're not locked into 2 octaves down, an octave up, a fifth, or 1 octave up, 2 octaves up. If you come over to this, let's go to this next patch here. That's my solo patch there. But we'll come over to this 5th patch I was able to create with all 5ths. So essentially it's like if I did but with the pedal. And the other thing I really love about it, the POG 3 and all of the octavers that Electro Harmonics does, your sound of your guitar, your bass really affects the tone of it. Where that's really evident when you go for your octave down sound. But if I take that, add a little beef. And all I did there was EQ my bass differently, you know. So, you know, it makes a huge difference. It makes a huge difference with a unit like this. So, back to where we were, doing the 5th thing. Also made one for 4ths. But that same sound, I can easily come over here and play it, including the filter. So even the sounds you're creating for your bass or your guitar or whatever it may be, you can easily use these same sounds as synth sounds. And you got enough slots here. You get up to 100 slots built in. This is about the same width as the Enzo X. It's a little longer than the Meris Series X pedals. But, I mean, the stuff you get in here for an octave pedal is just unmatched. I mean, I can't think of anything else that's even close. It's even close to this. So, and you know, of course, I tend to create whole presets for this type of stuff. So I also incorporated the Enzo X, doing a bit of overdrive and chorus on there, while emulating allegedly and a room on the Mercury X, and all that combined, and the preamp on there as well. I was even able to simulate a Leslie with the tremolo. And I can easily bring in more of the upper octaves. I can spread them. It adds a little bit of delay and just creates a bigger stereo sound. So when you turn it all the way to the right, the left side becomes 50 millisecond delay. So it adds pretty much like a short delay line to it. So the left becomes 50 milliseconds, and the right becomes up to 150 with it all the way to the right. So that's that. It almost sounds like it's like a short delay line, like just a one repeat delay. You can create that same type of effect. And then when I say this joint does not glitch, it doesn't glitch at all, like whatsoever. So you just got a piano for Christmas. I mean, you're gonna have to, it's a ton of free stuff on YouTube on learning piano and stuff like that. But just like any other instrument, it's gonna take you years and take some real effort for you to learn it. Now, I actually been playing piano longer than I've been playing bass, even though bass is my primary instrument. But trust and believe, piano has had its own amount of time. You know what I'm saying? Like real amount of time, to the point where, I've actually, my first full ride to college was for piano and trombone. Then I transferred to Berkeley for electric bass. So, I've spent a lot of time playing piano, and I would always recommend it for any musician. If you want to get to that next level, you have a hard time doing it just from the bass. Most people do. Almost everybody I know that's an amazing bassist knows their way around the piano. So, or guitarists, or even other instruments. Like I know some saxophone players that's some killer pianists. You know what I'm saying? They just don't really play piano in front of folks like that. But trust and believe, it is definitely something I recommend to every musician. So, yeah, spend some time on YouTube, learning some stuff, slow it down. You'll be able to get it. Just, don't give up. That's the main thing. Take it slow. Realize it's going to take you years, and just put in the time. It's all, just imagine it's a certain amount of time that you got to get to practice hours wise. Say, let's just go with the normal 10,000 hour rule. The more hours you put into it every day, the faster you chip away at the 10,000. The less hours you put away, the longer it's going to take you to master it. So, all right, that's enough of that. But feel free to ask questions, and, especially, music related questions, or especially if it's pertaining to the pedal. But feel free to ask questions. I try to get to you. As long as it doesn't take us too far off topic. But the fact that you can use this joint like that is crazy. So just so you can hear the individual, you're pretty much using it like a drawbars. So cool thing is you can tame some of those high frequencies with the filter. You can take some of that all the Q out. Oh, that's such a huge organ sound. You can pan these joints like, so let's do some panning here. Let me do some panning. Let's put these like that. Matter of fact, let's put these, the really high frequencies really far away. Let's keep the bass frequencies in the middle, and we'll spread the fifth and the dry signal. Let's see. that's not me. I just have the basic tremolo going right there, and what would be chorale on the actual organ, and then set it to the faster tremolo setting with the actual POG. That's the actual POG by itself. It almost sounds getting you right in that Leslie territory. And that's almost like the stop Leslie sound. Just like if you had like that vibrato on a B3 effect. So with almost like the stop organ sound. That's killing. You can't tell me, first of all, y'all already know how I feel about electroharmonics. I was let down that the POG 3 had that little problem, you know what I'm saying? But we back. Oh, yeah. Piano. Thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah, only thing missing is my iPad. My iPad will normally be right here. The iPad actually has all my EP sounds in it. The organ sounds coming from the Electroharmonics POG 3. And like all my synth pad, string sounds, stuff like that is coming from the Enzo X. So my pedal board is essentially set up for bass and keyboard sounds at the same time. So having this POG 3 have that feature, nobody said anything. I've watched all the YouTube reviews. Nobody has said anything about that feature. I just happened to be looking in the manual, and I was like, where is it? So in order to access this, you got to go to the main menu. So if you're on the home screen, you just press up, then you press down, go to MIDI, press right. Then, I have mine set up for MIDI channel 1. It said MIDI through and then MIDI keyboard. I was like, what the heck is MIDI keyboard? I went and looked in the manual, and you can play the doggone thing with a keyboard. I didn't even know that. I didn't even know that when I bought it, because nobody said anything in none of the videos. Yeah, a lot of them, man, they get the pedal and review it so fast, and then they rushing through the video. Here's a few sounds I did. Dun 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 dun. All right, next sound. Dun do 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 boo. Next song, boom 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 boom. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, that doesn't really show. That shows a few sounds, but in order to really understand what this pedal can do, you really got to dive into the features and the manual as well. I mean, to be honest, I dived into the manual just to make sure I'm not missing features just like this. You feel me? That is a killing feature. Now I can add that to pads, or like if I'm looping or something, when I'm live, I loop a lot. So say I'm looping. Here's a good example. I think this one, right? So now you can add that additional organ layer, and I don't have to take any extra pedals. I don't have to take any extra anything. So my octave pedal is now my organ, and of course you can create beautiful synth sounds with this thing as well. Good example of that. Let me just create. I'm creating all this stuff from. I haven't had it. I just got it back the day before Christmas. So happy holidays, everybody. By the way. Yeah, I know. I do got my preset packs. Thanks for reminding me too. I got my preset packs too, but as you can see, I dig way deep into these pedals to get you some crazy presets that really nobody else is going to get you. So I try to give try to give it my best shot to give you guys things that you can just come up with on your own. That way the pack is actually valuable to you, right? So, but yeah, once you go there, turn on the MIDI keyboard. Now it's accessible. See, you get all types of organ or synth type sounds. You also got an envelope. Now, here's a few little things with this pedal too that you wouldn't know right off the bat. You would think you have to do this menu, this encoder to do everything. You don't. If you want a quick way to get to the, say you want to save something quick, let me switch to a different patch so I don't actually mess up anything. Say I wanted to say that quickly. Quick combination you can remember is up, right, preset save, right? So what that essentially does from the home menu is go to the, from the home page goes to the main menu, and then you clicking over to the presets, and you also click and save. So up, right, pretty much quick saves everything. Oh, thank you, I appreciate that. Yeah, normally, if I'm not taking out on the floor, I also have some expression pedals. I have the 10-foot switch for the Luminite Graviton M1. I also have a MIDI captain, which has controlling all the expression stuff like the Leslie type stuff you were hearing. All this from the MIDI controllers, and as well as the external foot switch for the Jam Man Solo HD. So, and it definitely took some time to refine it to these are the pedals that can do everything that any other pedals I would want to have could do, pretty much. So, I definitely, it's definitely a blessing, and I'm definitely excited myself the sounds I'll be able to create with this. But all right, so working your way around this thing isn't that difficult. If you want to get the expressions, like the expression pedal stuff, you can just hold expressions. It'll take you right to the expression menu. You can change whatever you need to change there for the expression modes. If you want to get to the filters quickly, you just press and hold filters. Well, from the home menu at least. Press and hold filters, and it'll take you to the filter menu from the home menu. So little things like that will help you navigate this pedal so much better and faster. I haven't even looked into the Slam Knee Plus, to be honest with you. I'll look into it though, see if that's something. Let me see. Okay. This is okay. Yeah, it's a whammy style pedal. Yeah, you can do if you get a POG 3, you can do all that with a POG 3. Let me see. You really don't need 3 octaves up and down. That's what I was saying about the hog, the hog tooth. I really don't use the third and fourth octaves up almost ever, like if at all. They're usually a little too harsh. So I usually keep it to 2 octaves up, 2 octaves down within that range. Anyway, that typically works out best. Dual pitch shifting mode. Yeah, it covers all that X fade function. Fades from, you can do that with this too, with the crossfade on the expression pedal. So pretty much this is like what Electro Harmonics likes to do. Um, a lot of the time I've seen them do things like take parts of the pedals and make them into other things. So for instance, on the Hog 2 is the reason why you got the Deep Freeze, the Super Ego Plus, because of the freeze glyphs mode on there. And they added a whole bunch of other stuff, like add some modulations or distortion to it. And now we got a Super Ego Plus. You feel me? So um, that's, and even things like the Mel 9, the Key 9, the Rabbit Sitar, those are combinations of effects and things that you can create without it. Bill Rupert, if you watch the old Bill Rupert Electro Harmonics videos, he does a ton of stuff where he actually does a lot of the similar type of sounds to what's already on the Mel 9 and Key 9 before they ever came out with Electro Harmonics pedals. So, you know, I've always felt like that was their secret sauce with those. They aren't really tracking as much as they are effects, you know what I'm saying? So, but with this is a whole new level for Electro Harmonics. I don't think they have any other pedal that you can play with MIDI. That is a great organ. It's like a classic organ sound. That type. It's like that type of thing. Yes, yeah. Bill Rupert is definitely one of my favorites. Like I learned so much stuff from Bill Rupert, and then as I got into synth, Anthony Marinelli. I'm terrible with names, so don't give me the name and names. But those people definitely had a good, huge impact on learning those particular disciplines, effects, and with Bill Rupert and Simps with Anthony Marinelli. I think I'm probably saying that wrong. I might be saying it half right. But yeah, so you pretty much use these like drawbars. Everyone has a different voice to it. Let's take that attack out. Let's open this up. Put this to the center. Take that detune out. And this definitely sounds like I wish I can get my organ pedals to sound like that. Let's add some emphasis. Yeah, we use that low pass filter. See, with the resonance, the Q does, it emphasizes this when this envelope is in the center, meaning this is just a stagnant low pass filter. Whatever frequency I set this cutoff to is emphasized with this resonance. So you kind of can use it like an EQ. You add enough resonance, you start getting that 808 type sound. Real subby. But yeah, so See what else we got here. So basically what we got is so you know, those pretty much the voices you're working with there. But again, you can take these same voices, you can pan them. So say I wanted just this octave, 2 octaves up, all the way on the right, 1 octave all the way on the left. But I want the dry fundamental tone in the middle. So that's a really cool feature too. Yeah, and that's the thing too. It doesn't sound exactly like a B3 or any real organ, but I don't, as if you know me, like if I wanted a real organ sound, I'm gonna go and play a real Leslie B3. I play organ too, so I don't need to fake an organ sound per se, but I like to have organ-esque type sounds to do pads or layer with sounds. Like sounds like that really go well when they're layered with other sounds. There was, so now like the second octave became like the main, became like the main. You can get so many organ sounds out of here. You can take that focus off. It won't be such a that glassy sound up top. Get you more of that like percussion-y type sound. This is more like a full drawbar, closer to that type of sound. Plus, you could tame some of them high frequencies. Add a little resonance, a little bit of resonance in there. Set this. It seems like this detune knob here, when you're using the modulation wheel, seems like this sets the maximum speed, and then the mod wheel can go anywhere from none to this maximum speed that you're setting here. It almost sounds like a Leslie. I ain't gonna lie. It's actually not too far off where it's, egregious like that. But I mean, for this to be an octave pedal, I'm thoroughly impressed. The filter sounds amazing as well. It sounds amazing on bass, sounds amazing played, as an organ type synth. And of course, you can add some funky filter to that. Now, I will say they do give you an AD filter, so attack and decay. You can control the attack and decay of the filter. So most of us kind of used to one way or another, so we're not used to this triangle shape where it goes wow, like that type thing, wow, and closes back. So we want more of that ow sound. So what I do is I cut the attack time down to 1, and then I use the decay time to be the time it goes from the filter being opening to closing, essentially. And then I use the filter cutoff, as the bottom of the filter. So, and I use this envelope. So the envelope here is going to pretty much be the top cutoff of the filter in this configuration. And this would be the bottom of the filter right here. So however far down you want it to sweep. And let's not overlook, you also got an input, gain input in here, and you can overdrive this gain input and even get some overdrive in here. See, now I'm controlling. Now it's just essentially closing. It immediately opens and closes. Come on now, stop playing with it. Not only did they make the best octaver, they added a way you can overdrive it to varying degree. You can have it real clean, right? Or you can have it overdriven, super, just overdriven. Awesome, congratulations. Yeah, it's always amazing when you get, put together a new pedal board. As you can tell, mine constantly changes. But I think finally I think I'm at a point where I kind of got everything I really need. The only thing I might add is a LVX, Meris LVX delay unit, modular delay. But other than that, I mean, I'm pretty much set to go. MIDI wise, all that stuff, everything. This is also full MIDI. The POG 3, of course, has a full size MIDI in and out ports in it. You got stereo, you got mono in but you also have stereo in and out and a direct out. So, and you have an expression pedal input, but I'm actually using the expression pedal through MIDI. So I have the expression pedal routed through the Luminite Graviton M1, and the Graviton M1 is wirelessly connected to the CME H4 MIDI Pro underneath the board, which looks like this, but it's a bigger version. So this is the H2 MIDI Pro, but there's a bigger version of this that's also has wireless MIDI underneath the board on that side, that all the pedals are hardwired to with actual MIDI cables. But the Graviton M1, the MIDI controller, and the MIDI captain are all wireless. So, you know, and I use this MIDI master unit here. Oh, I use this for the keyboard. So the keyboard is actually wireless MIDI as well. All I have to do, and it's powered by the pedal board power supply, which is a Canvas Power 15. And that's actually powering, the Canvas Power 15 is actually powering this entire board on 20% of the power, which is insane. And not only that, it's also powering the MIDI controller and the Graviton M1 and the CME H4 MIDI Pro. So, you know, I really only have one jack, one wall plug out of this board, and it powers all of that. And it's only running 20%. I can still link a whole nother unit. Thank you. Appreciate you, that Bass Solo over on Twitch, for subscribing. I definitely appreciate that. See if we got anybody else. Come on, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe. Definitely appreciate you being here for the vibes. We hanging out, you know what I'm saying? Definitely going over some little tips and tricks of how to get some different sounds, you know, from this POG 3. But yeah, so having all that, I say all that to say about the MIDI. I have the expression pedal wired up. Well, it's hardwired to the, meaning it has an actual TRS cable running from the Luminite M1. But that one expression pedal is controls the Mercury X, Enzo X, the Future Impact, and the Electro Harmonics POG 3. Depending on which patch I have. So I can even have different preset patches for the expression pedal with the M1 with this MIDI unit here. So that makes my life so much easier. You can just get so many sounds with this joint, for real. Like, let's get some. That's almost flute-like. I love how they sound completely different, but it's the same setting. Like, that's my actual drop bass. Wow, it's like it really does have its own like synth engine in it. Oh, and also on the same filter page, you also have a trigger sensitivity. So say I wanted that to trigger a little less. Let's see, let's get some. See, that's too sensitive. It's triggering too much. I love this filter. That filter's nasty. You can have each note have its own attack, or let's see if we can. I think this trigger sensitivity more applies to your actual. Yeah, it applies to the actual audio signal coming in, so your bass or your guitar. Oh, it definitely is fun. Oh, my man Jeremiah, we're on the usual suspects in the house. Appreciate you. Found me over on Twitch too, huh? Hey, I appreciate that. Y'all don't understand. I appreciate all the support and all the love, man. You know, I definitely appreciate you guys, you know. And if you haven't, especially if you're a Patreon subscriber and supporter, if you bought preset packs on the Patreon, thank you. You know, it means the world to me. You guys definitely help keep the channel growing and going. So, you know, thank you, you know, so much. Also, you know, I'll have a pack for the POG 3 and the Mercury X. And it's another pedal I'm supposed to be doing. Oh, the ToneX one. I'll have some new preset packs, combination packs coming out for that. If you have a ToneX one color box plus other preamps so, together. So combination tone models, color box, and the Ampeg SGT, which is the tone model you've been listening to. And then you got the, you know, color box into the Aguilar AG preamp and all that good stuff. So that'll be out tomorrow, actually. Those will be released. And then we got the Mercury X pack, which I have all my Mercury X settings, but this POG 3 pack gonna take a little time too. You know, y'all know I take my time with these preset packs. So let's create a nice, actual nice bass patch real quick, because pretty much, you know, that's, you can get some variation out the organ sound, but it ain't but so much you can do. Yeah, Axiom joints are pretty good. These I've had this for like 10 years. So if you're looking for, like, I can vouch that these are solid, you know, but I am looking at getting a Roly MIDI controller. It got the color changing keys and touch sensitive, and you can pitch bend with the keys and all types of stuff, you know. So I'm looking into getting something like that. And plus, I feel like it'll look better with the show. I need to put some LED lights under this joint too, you know, under the pedal board. But I kind of like that. Nice little weird little sound. Yeah, let's open that filter up. Open that filter. get so many nice sounds out that joint. Yeah, I love it. I love them joints. Yeah, and this joint, you can pitch bend it. I will say that they did a great job with this. I know, like I said, um, I know it's had the firmware issues. It seems like they've really worked to really try to figure that out. They on firmware number 86, I think, or 82, something like that. When it went out on me, it was on like firmware like 72, and when I first got it, it was on firmware 56. So I will say they are putting the work into this POG 3 in order to make sure that it is a solid pedal. And I think that might have been why a few people haven't, or why a lot of people haven't really been up on it. This is the most amazing octaver I've ever played in my life. Like, I can't say that any other octaver is even close to all the things, like just the details, the things you wouldn't even think would matter on the octaver. Like, oh, I need to be able to pan all the octaves, or I want to pan all the, like, that's not something you need, but it definitely adds to the sound of things. It just gives everything a place to be, like all the sounds. Like, I can put the bass, the more bassier sound right there dead in the center, while panning everything else like kind of behind it. It almost sounds like somebody's playing a synth behind the bass note. That's crazy. What do I have? I love that. One of my biggest things with the Hog 2, I got it right here. So this is the Hog 2 for size comparison. You know what I'm saying? So it's about the same length. Let me see. But the Hog 2 is wider. Definitely wider. And so one of the main things I frustrate me about this joint was you can only use one of these expression modes at a time, especially without MIDI. With MIDI, you can actually use the freeze gliss and one of these expression modes at the same time. But without it, you pretty much will have to use one of those. You could either use the filter, the octave, the pitch bend stuff, or the freeze gliss, freeze volume. I do miss the spectral gate. I wish they'd added that, but I guess that's kind of similar to this focus button here. But everything else, also this didn't have an envelope for the filter. So you pretty much either had to use that filter like pretty much it's a low pass filter. You only had a low pass filter and resonance pretty much. This the frequency cutoff and the resonance. That's all you had for this. This envelope was pretty much an envelope for these voices here, the different pitches, different octaves. So I'm trying to think. Only other thing, but yeah, that was my main gripe with this Hog 2 that I'm glad they upgraded on the POG 3. They definitely allowed you to now you always have access to the filter, like with a CC message. You always have access to the filter cutoff if you want to use that for like a wah-wah pedal or a filter pedal. And you also have the filter envelope here itself, which has that, allows you to pretty much set the attack time and the decay time of the filter and the frequency cutoff, and the bottom of the filter as well. So the depth of the filter. So, they definitely did a great job with it. And also, they the Hog 2 only had MIDI in. That was a problem for me. And it only had it was only mono in, mono out, even though you got a direct out as well, but it was only mono. And you still needed a foot switch to save presets with this. As big as it is, it's bigger, you had to have another additional little pedal here. These two go together, and this is the memory bank pretty much for the Hog 2. This is still a great pedal, but the tracking's faster, the tracking's more accurate on here. You can find some chords where you can mess up the Hog 2. You really can't find any that you can mess up with the POG 3. You know what I'm saying? It's like the sucker tracks and tracks well. And that's not the pedal glitching. That's just because of the intervals I have it set to. I almost kind of love how they are two completely different sounds, even though it's the same setting, because it's using the internal voice or synth engine that's in there. It has a completely different voice to the same settings that I already have. That sounds completely different than. But I like the fact that I'm like stacking harmonies right here. Only thing I wish they still allowed you to do was have access to the freeze gliss mode through the CC messages, but pretty much you'd have to come to the expression mode now and you have to change it to freeze gliss. Which is going to give you a whole different sound. That's it by itself. Oh. Oh man, yeah, that sucks, bro. What's going on, by the way? Appreciate you, you know, chiming in. The usual suspects popping in the house. But yeah, I definitely appreciate that. Yeah, the Chase Bliss mood MK2. I was looking into that, but there isn't really anything that's going to be able to do that. I mean, between the Mercury X and once I get an LVX, the LVX and between that and the Mercury X, there's nothing that the MK Chase that mood pedal was going to be able to do that I would, or that I would need it to do that I wouldn't be able to get from those two pedals. I think that's one of the biggest reasons. I know that's one of the biggest reasons why I kind of been, telling you guys so much about the Meris pedals. One, nobody's really talking about them like that, on the bass side of the game, but they are crazy. Like, I mean, they are crazy good, and they'll save you a ton of money. This Enzo X, man, the Enzo X, it replaced all my modulation pedals, and it's it's also my go-to pad pedal, so I don't need too many other pads and that type of stuff. Other pads I need to create, I can do that with the Key 9, Mel 9, Ravis Sitar, or the V256 vocoder right here. But the modulations in there, just for bass stuff, like you talking about just for bass stuff, the modulation section in there, the drive section in there is amazing as well. And you get what else you got in there? Oh, the filter is crazy. Filter's stupid. Like just dumb. It's and that's where I'll say I do like the filter in the Enzo X and the Meris stuff better, than the filter in here. But I do like the filter in the POG 3. Don't get me wrong. It's actually right on par with the filter from the Hog 2, which I love, as well. So I think this is a much more flexible version of what was in the Hog 2. So I think it's safe to say that, this can also be a low pass, a band pass, and a high pass filter. That, come on. They probably had problems with it glitching because there's so much stuff in here. I ain't gonna lie. That's why I'm not even tripping. Like, yeah, this is firmware version 82. So, there was 81 previous versions of that. So they put some work into this joint. Like this, they didn't just throw this together. And even now, they're continuing to work on it. Oh, I absolutely love the Empress compressor. You've been listening to it this whole time. You know what I'm saying? It has a very nice warm sound to it, and it's like it gives you the perfect amount of compression saturation as well. So let me see what we got here. Let's give it a little bit of that. Just so you can get a little, see how mine's kind of sound here. So, without it, with it. And that's at a 4-to-1, so I'm using it to really tame it. I have a longer attack on it. The attack's around 3 o'clock. The release is around 9 o'clock, and I'm making sure that it's hitting maximum that 4 with the this input knob, this input kind of works like a threshold. So, you know, that's some things to look out for. I'm using complete all the way to the right with the mix is actually all wet. And it got a little bit of high pass filter in the side chain high pass filter. You can actually just go with an Empress compressor for real and add on that tone plus color, and it's gonna give you some nice bottom. Let's get some little slap. No problem at all. Empress compressor definitely is one of my favorites, for sure. It's definitely reasonably priced, and for analog pedal, it's really small. You know, analog compressor, and it sounds great. So great purchase there. But yeah, back to the business. Let's get back to, let's see, do I want to say that? Super Ego with the, you can adjust the freeze gliss time with your foot if you wanted to. So say I just wanted a little freeze time too, you know. So all that's done with the expression pedal. And mind you, the expression pedal is not physically hooked to the POG 3. It's actually physically hooked to the M1, and that's sending the expression pedal wirelessly to the CME H4 MIDI Pro, which is built into the board, which is sending that expression pedal information through the MIDI chain is Mercury X, Enzo X, Future Impact, and then the POG 3 is actually the last one in the MIDI chain. That's the cool thing about MIDI. It doesn't matter the order. It matters the channels and where you directly send it. So, you know, I think that's just stupid. Like, that's just dumb that you can do that. You know, I've been considering taking my deep freeze back off the board here and, you know, using that slot for something else, possibly the HX1, so I can, you know, have that Leslie sound on there. The Leslie sound on there is pretty good. I think it's the Leslie 122, I believe. But that filter though, the filter's stupid. And yeah, the MXR bass compressor, that was a pretty good compressor. You know, take your time, folks. Don't feel a hurry because you see other people getting pedals or getting this. More than likely, you know, it's been only pedal I've ever bought that was like not available in the next, you know, few years afterwards. What is the MXR layers? I think I got that last year, and they already stopped selling the MXR layers. You know, so, you know, I know that's what some people, I guess, would kind of worry about with the MXR bass synth, but trust and believe, when the pedal sells, they'll keep it. The MXR layers probably didn't sell as well as the MXR bass synth, so you probably had to run and grab that pretty fast. But the Empress compressor is a great selling pedal, in other words, so it ain't going nowhere. If anything, they may upgrade it at some point, but I don't see them getting rid of the Empress compressor altogether. It's already a perfect analog compressor. Sounds great. These little Nomad brushes definitely come in handy with your pedals and stuff. You know what I'm saying? You can actually dust the pedals off. You know, get that grime on your bass bridge. All that good stuff. I don't know why I'm doing this right now, but we in there. But yeah, this is another way I kind of keep my pedals from. I guess it's a little tip. I might as well give you guys this little tip while we're here. It's another little way I keep my pedals from like having those sketchy switches. Like if you just dust your pedals off every once in a while, it definitely helps keep some of that grime out of the pots, and that's what kind of keeps it from, you know, you'll find certain say you're turning one of these, you know, and it's like you know, it means some dirt in there, you know, but dusting it off doesn't get the dirt out, but it just keeps as much dirt from going in as possible. In my opinion, this kind of works for me. So, you know, don't be afraid to dust the pedals off. Go on, dust your pedals off, as Jay-Z said, you know, or something like that. He might have said shoulders, but we going with pedals today. Oh, if you want any of my pedals that I'm selling as well, you know what I'm saying? All that's on, if you go to my YouTube page, the link will be in the description at the top. But got quite a few pedals for sale. Hog 2's going up for sale as well. Hog 2's going to sell for like $330, something like that, with the saving port. So still a great. All right, let's get some usable bass sounds. I'll just go ahead and save that just because. I'll probably get rid of that later or do something better with it. All right, so the simplest way to do stuff like this is to kind of zero everything out. Just, you know, good starting point. Means have the filter all the way open. This envelope put that to the center, and it's got a little indent right there. Put that to the center indent, spread all the way to the left, detune all the way down, off. I even like how these sliders, they light up more as you increase the value or push the slider up. You can have the dry signal come through the attack or not, the filter or not, or the detune or not. So you got a few options. Even with the dry sound, I can create some, go ahead with some detune. Somewhere around there. The only thing I do wish with this detune is that they gave us a speed and really just a speed parameter with it. Maybe somewhere in the menu, if they could do that with a future update without hurting anything. A nice speed parameter for the detune would allow you to have a much wider variety of chorus with that. So, but you can create your own custom detune with the warp expression feature. So don't worry about that. But so then you can have it run through this filter. Let's go. If we hold this button underneath, takes us straight to the filter. Let's go ahead and make a nice little envelope. A nice little wah, or not wah. Nice little expression pedal filter. And you can even set the hill frequency, the toe frequency. You can reverse it, and you can have a non-pedal value. So the non-pedal value of the expression mode is just what value do you want it to just sit at. If there's no expression pedal connected, it'll just sit at that particular value, you know what I'm saying, that you set it to. Y'all make sure you hit that like button while you're here and subscribe if you haven't already. Appreciate all the usual suspects starting to show up and stuff. Thank you. Feel free to jump in anytime. Add some resonance. Let's add some input gain. Reverse that. Come on now, like, you know, it's even got the distortion and the filter to use it like that too, with just the as a filter. You don't even have to use the expression pedal for that, you know. You can use the expression pedal for, say, I kind of like that. About halfway. Now you're really starting to get into that, like that synth territory. Definitely love this filter. And if I wanted to, just that filter is a little smoother. Come here. The filter's a little smoother with. I think it'll be a little smoother. So, yeah, that's the filter. Let's go. Now, if we want to warp it, so we're going to use it like a whammy pedal. Expression pedal. So, yeah, the tough part, man, you just always I always experiment with new stuff and just trying to see how I can get stuff going. Change the fact that this is sending the other expression over there. Let's see something. Ooh, something was wrong. Wasn't quite plugged in. Trying to figure out why it's not pitch bending the dry signal. Let me look. This is some of the stuff you just be having to do. This is why I always run into a part where I gotta just grab the manual. You know what I'm saying? That's why I always recommend you. I keep mine in a Google Drive. That usually keeps me pretty good. So let's see why we're not getting what we want. So, yeah, I definitely always recommend keeping that manual, man. And these days it's so easy. I just keep them all on my phone. Let me see. It also got, it's got that crossfade mode too. You can cross between two different presets, just like you could do with the MXR bass synth, and the MXR Poly Blue does that as well. You can morph between presets. So apparently, it's no pitch bend on the dry signal because the octave down, the starting octave, the hill down for the octave up is your unison pitch. Even though they sound slightly different. That was the same on the Hog 2. Now I wish they would give me access to this sound. But on the, they used to, on the Hog 2, it was a separate slider. You had your actual dry signal, and then you had your original pitch, which was like your same thing, but this process sounding one like this. I wonder, well, it wouldn't pitch bend. It would just go between the two sounds. This joint tracks so good. That is not normal. That, when I say it's like, it's pretty much, it's so fast. Oh, that's great. That is awesome. Even down here, this joint tracks. Tell me that's not great tracking. Like, on top of that, you can play it. The technology is just getting out of control with these pedals, yo. Like, come on. You can't tell me these joints is not amazing. I know it had the problem. Listen, I gave it a second, I'm giving it a second go. Not really a second go. I already had bought it, and, it was still under warranty, so they fixed it. But as much as I wanted to be mad at them I only had the pedal 2 days before it malfunctioned, and then I had to send it out for repair for like a month, for 4 weeks. You know what I'm saying? Exactly 4 weeks. When I say this joint was worth it, all the hassle, there's nothing even close, and it's so satisfying to get, to get all of what you want out of a pedal. You know what I'm saying? Like, and more. Like, keep getting surprises. So, of course you can use like a filter pedal. You can use it as a swell pedal as well. So. This one more time. Oh, come on. There's nothing that's going to do anything with the POG 3 that's out. I don't care about how shiny or how bright they paint the joint or whatever. This joint right here is insane. And I know it's on the pricier side for a pedal. It's about $580. I think I saw them on sale. Let me see some. I think I saw them on sale. Yeah, well, dang. $645. I'm looking at. Yeah, they $645. So yeah, they ain't the cheapest pedal. But when I say it does, it costs pretty much what the Hog 2 but did back in the day, but with today's money equivalent. So it's not out of the realm of possibility for this. Like the Hog 2 10 years ago was $500 and something. Plus you had to buy the little preset box separate from the joint. But when I say wow, and look, you could just play the joint. Come on. Not only can you play it with a MIDI keyboard, this is something that no other pedal I know of can actually do. No other pedal I know can do that, where you can play your bass and the MIDI keyboard through the same pedal at the same time. Like the Future Impact and the Enzo X cannot do that. Like, and I'll say that much. You can. The difference being, the Future Impact, you can play all these. So these three right here, you can all play with your bass. And you can also play all three of these with your MIDI keyboard, right? Difference being, this can be played with your bass and your MIDI keyboard, but not at the same time. This, you can play your bass and a keyboard, a MIDI keyboard, but not at the same time. But this will also, the Future Impact will also output that same, those MIDI notes that you're playing. It will output those to another MIDI device and allow you to play other synths with your bass through the Future Impact. And that's something that these two pedals can't do. This one shines at, it does an organ sound, right? Does organ sound, but it also is the best octaver ever, with an amazing filter, an amazing swell feature to it, as well as detune and spread, like a short, very short pre-delay type sound. You know, about 50 milliseconds is like a normal pre-delay time for reverb. But the right channel goes, when you turn this all the way to the right channel goes all the way to 150 milliseconds. So 3 times the delay of the left side. And then you got the panning options. Then you got the routing options with the left and right. You can run this mono, you can run this stereo, plus a direct line out, mono line out. So, you know, expression pedal in, out, you know, you can add distortion, overdrive with the input gain, and you got plenty of headroom and power with the master volume. Got your preset buttons here, flip them down, presets, nice size screen. You can see it, everything. So if I'm flipping through these, you can see the names really well, even in dim situations. Mind you, I'm not endorsed by Electro Harmonics at all. So yeah, it's not really that many strings. It's only a 6-string bass. You know, that's pretty normal. Like 6-string ain't even crazy no more. Like there's people that have 16 string and 19 string basses and crazy stuff like that. So 12 strings and all that stuff. So 6-string ain't really crazy. 6-string is what a standard guitar is. This is, to be honest, I think the 6-string bass is what every bass should have been from the beginning, instead of them doing a 4-string. I don't even know why they did a 4-string. Why would you go from 6 strings on a regular guitar to on a bass guitar 4 strings? That don't make sense to me. The 6 gives us much more ability for like vertical movement versus horizontal movement. You know what I'm saying? Side to side. I don't have to do all this shifting all the way up here to play something I can play all right here. So that's one of the, you know, all in this area basically. So that's one of the main benefits of, you know, using a 6-string. So that's all those nice harmonics. Right? So yeah, this pedal I highly recommend to everybody. This is as long as the firmware holds up. I would say hold up, give me a couple weeks. I'm a test this out for a few weeks, you know what I'm saying, and just make sure before I actually give y'all go ahead buy it, you know, type feel. Y'all know how I am. I don't want to have to come back and make a video retracting my love for the pedal, hopefully. But yeah, there is no octave pedal that's gonna allow you to do everything this joint can do. So, you know, now I can have pretty much, because, you know, I got everything on MIDI. once I'm here, you know, I got my bass sounds. I know what I forgot to add to these. This CC is now number, what is that, bypass 79? Yep. See, I keep a little list. Here of CC commands and stuff like that, so I don't have to go to the manual as much. But the main CC commands and I need and presets are all listed here, so I don't have to try to keep all that in mind. But yeah, so on all these patches, because I went from the Hog 2 to the POG 3, the CC messages for the bypass are different, so I have to go to everywhere like this, 79, bam. But this how easy the M1 is. This Luminite M1 is so easy to manipulate. I'm just double tapping, bam, coming here, typing in CC message, going back out. Same here, come here, double tap, or I can just hold it. Let me see, bam, edit. Let's see, if I do that, I gotta hit edit, but bam, double tap, bap, 79. These I don't need to alter. So I just took the time to alter 6 different patches that fast, like, and change the CC command for all of those that fast, where when I press it, bam, turns off the POG 3, excuse me. And then when I want my solo sounds, I don't like that view, like this one, I can just, now I got the, I also gotta change that. Yeah, I gotta change these too, because I need this to turn on. So just add a CC message of 79, then 127. Make sure that cuts on. Let's see, bam, yep. Right? Same thing here. These extra CC commands. Changes to 79. Boop. And we out. So that So one thing I'm gonna do real quick, I'm gonna find something I don't really need. I don't really need that. So 7037. I'm gonna take this filter and I'm gonna create one for that patch. Matter of fact, I really don't need to do that because I can just do that here. But I like this filter more. Change this to 37. But let's change this. Let's change this to 3. right, and we're gonna bring the resonance down on that. So I want to thin that out some. Let's see if we can do this. Come here to this filter real quick. See what we got. Hey, man, this is for a grip. Appreciate y'all hanging out with me, though. So yeah, this joint, I'm about to keep getting this, locking this setting in a little more later, but I actually like that. Gotta do something with it. I'm gonna copy this preset and I wanna copy it to 19. So just press and hold that. Just press and hold that. And so now I should be able to go and on 19, but on 13, yep. Still got my regular sound there, but so this is more of like a funk guitar type sound. This filter still ain't where I want it, for real. That's killing. You can actually choose the two like back to back like that. So you with the crossfade expression mode, what's going on? Oh yeah, this rig is only really, you see all this extra, this rig is this big because I need the space. Like I wear a size 12 and I really don't. I've had this pedal board packed out to where there was no space. But this particular pedal board or iteration of it or whatever you want to call it, I wanted space. I know it's still a lot of pedals, but I wanted space. So like you see there's major gaps in here where I could easily fit other pedals and stuff. Nah. So yes, it is it's actually the size of a 61 key MIDI controller. This the MIDI controller down here, so it's really not that big. I mean, y'all be carrying them refrigerators and 8 by 10s and 2, 4, 10 cabinets, and I've seen guys carry a lot of gear. I really don't carry a lot of gear, and it's really like all this with one power outlet. This is all run with one power outlet. All I do is take this out the board, plug in the power, plug in out to the XLRs, might run to my amp, plug in my bass, and I'm ready to go. This essentially is no more than plugging in a big multi-effects pedal. Oh, you think this is too big? This is the same size as the Enzo X and stuff. Like this, how else could you fit all these features into something like the POG 3? Like these features can't fit in this chassis. You see what I'm saying? This is a micro pedal. It can't fit in a regular size pedal either. These are regular size pedals here. These three. This is an oversized pedal. You can't even have an oversized pedal like this and expect it to do everything that this is doing. This is pretty much the same size as these Meris pedals. It's just a little longer this way, but it's the same exact width. So it actually matches up with those quite well. So, and this isn't the vocoder and the Ravis sitar. They aren't too far off from this size either. So certain pedals, you know, they worth the real estate. You know what I'm saying? They worth the real estate. For this one pedal here, you don't need any octave pedal. You don't need a whammy pedal or nothing like that. It's got all that in there. I'm going to show you how it can crossfade between presets. You also, you know, you can play it with a MIDI keyboard. Come on now. Oh, it's before the Enzo X. So just so you guys will know the pedal order, I guess I'll explain the pedal order and everything real quick. And this is just the audio. I'm talking audio chain, the MIDI chain, and the power chain. This power chain doesn't really matter, but you know, it's all powered by Canvas Power 15, just so you know, this whole board, plus the stuff underneath. There's stuff underneath. And all this is powered by, you know, all 18 devices are powered by one Power Canvas 15. But starting to here, we have a T-tone, three-way effects loop, right? So basically giving me 3 different effects loops. I can cut out the majority of the board. So basically this, all of this from here to here, I pretty much can cut out with this effects loop if I wanted to. So first effects loop is the Empress compressor by itself. That's always on, and that's only on it because I don't want to have to, I don't like plugging directly into my pedals every single time. I like the fact that this is $40 and this is $200 and something. If I need a new one of these, fine. You know, if the jack or whatever we're out, fine. This, I don't want anything to ever happen to. So, you know, or any of these pedals. So that's the main goal. But all right, so if that breaks down, bam, I could take it out there or press it there. Red loop is the bass synth and the future impact. And the blue loop here is the deep freeze, key 9, male 9, ravish sitar, and then the V256 vocoder back into the pedal. So each one of those loops goes out and comes back into the pedal and has its own thing. So that's all of that. And then coming out of the 3-way looper goes directly into the POG 3, Electro-Harmonics POG 3. POG 3 is running, then coming out of his stereo into the Enzo X. Enzo X running left and right into the ToneX 1s. Stereo into the Mercury X and Jam Man Solo HD, and then the stereo line isolator by Canvas there. So that's pretty much my whole effects chain with this. And only other thing I use for keys live is going to be my iPad. My iPad, I just run, I have an X-Tone Pro pedal that, you know, is pretty much it's an audio interface, but it also has MIDI in and out, and it has mic input, stereo in and out, XLR, and all that good stuff. So it's like an all-in-one solution audio interface pedal, where it's 6-foot switches you can assign to different virtual effects, but I don't use it all for all that. I'm just using it as an audio interface for my iPad. And then I run Neo Soul keys for my EP sounds. I'm going to be using the POG 3 for my organ sounds. And I'll be using the Enzo X for all my pads and stuff. If I don't want to play bass synth with my bass and I want to play key bass, I'll be using the Future Impact for that. So, you know, they all have their own little purposes here. Let me say this. Where is it? It's this one. I'm going to say that where it is. Turn that off, dude. So, just so you got an idea, Enzo X. These beautiful sounds. And I'll freeze them away. Mercury X has a freeze function too. So I am changing the sounds with the foot controller for the graviton in there. That's the Enzo X. This is all Enzo X and Mercury X together. worth $600. That's crazy. It's a crazy thing to ask. String sounds from the Enzo X. I gotta come out with an Enzo X pack, preset pack, a second one. It's already one on there, but I'm gonna come out with a second one with like these string sounds and stuff in it, all these different paths. Yeah. Stop playing. Straight up South territory. Right to the bass. Right to the bass. Do it to him. Do it to him. Do it to him. Do it to him. Woo. From the bass. Make sure you head over to the Patreon, sign up, so you know when I'm releasing my packs. Like, how you gonna walk around with these pedals and not have access to these sounds? Come on. And you really gonna spend all the time it took me hours and hours and months of playing with this and that and just, you know, working with different things to even be able to do that. You know what I'm saying? Get these sounds like a string sound. Now I will say with the Enzo X, the sounds sound the same when you playing with your bass and the MIDI controller, while with the POG 3 they sound completely different. And the same thing, the Future Impact sounds exactly the same as well. You know what I'm saying? When you play it with your bass. So let's pick a nice little bass sound. And the crazy part is I really don't have to touch these 1, 2, 3, 4 pedals at all. Like I can literally just go through all the presets, scroll through stuff, do all this stuff without ever touching it because of the MIDI controls. So, you know, the Future Impact Enzo X sound the same when you're playing it with your MIDI controller or your bass. While the POG 3 definitely sounds completely different, but every sound that you make with your bass or whatever is playable with, like, the octave settings are playable with MIDI, which is crazy. It's still a crazy concept. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that is a tough one. I actually have to think about that. What effect, what dream effect I would have that it doesn't exist. A lot of times, for me personally, like I get, I don't really chase sounds in my head per se as much as I get inspiration from gear and knowing how to create different sounds, if that makes sense. So like if you create effect, for instance, you know, Meris has done a lot. Meris has done a lot. Guitar Rig also has done a lot. So that is very tough. That is a very tough question. I never even thought about that. You know, I just kind of let the companies do what they do with the effects, and I just worry about playing. You know, playing, doing, you know, going crazy for the, you know, you got to perform. But yeah, if you ever, you know, if you ever want me to check out some stuff that you create, you know, effects wise and things like that, let me know. I'll check out some stuff for you, and you know, I don't mind beta testing. You know, I love messing around with effects, but yeah, I'm thoroughly impressed with this thing here. I mean, it's more so these days. I think it's for me. It's the combination of things that impress me because the amount of things they can squeeze into something like a Future Impact, which is like would take a room full of synths before. You know what I'm saying? Like this is like a ARP 2600 or Moog. It's all of that in here in one. You know, this is closer to like a CS80 or something like that. You know, but look at the size of these units. That's what gets me excited these days. I mean, just the amount that they cram into them. This is not just an octave pedal, you know, a multiple octave pedal. You know, you got panning options, you got overdrive, distortion, swell, attack, you know, or attack, full featured filter, you know, detune. You even got spread, which gives you a wider stereo field, but also acts like a short delay or pre-delay. And then you could play them. That's all right up my alley. So, you know, anything that you would like me to try out, for sure, just hit me up on on like Instagram or something. DM me at the Bass Negus, and yeah, I'd love to try out whatever you got. Like I said, I like when I hear an effect and I can it doesn't have to immediately smack me in the face like that is it's a great effect, but I like to turn it on and be able to do some things with it and get usable sounds out of it. You know, more than one is my parameter. My so this how I judge if an effect is really good. How many different ways can I use it? For instance, the Enzo X is not. It's like these are multi effects pedals for real. They're not regular effects pedals. They're multi effects pedals. So like for instance, the filter in the Enzo X and the Mercury X are incredible. The modulation section, the chorus in the modulation section, the flanger, the phaser, the ring mod, the bit crusher. I can use that stuff for any instrument, and not only that, those are some of the best versions of those of those effects I've ever heard. Yes, it has MIDI out. Can you? No, you cannot send it to another outboard synth. You can pass MIDI messages through it, and you can have it be the MIDI clock for your board and things like that. But it won't output note on, note off, velocity, and all that stuff. It's not gonna output that through the MIDI out. You know what I'm saying? So it only takes that through the MIDI in. So, but the Future Impact, however, does allow you to do that in monophonically, but it does allow you to play other actual. So if I wanted to play my bass and play the sounds in the motif, the Future Impact allows me to do that. Now, the other two don't allow you to do that. I mean, the Future Impact's actually the only pedal I know that allows you to do that that's even in this range of pedals, of synth pedals, synth/octave pedals, whatever you want to call it. But definitely Enzo X is crazy. You know, and this is another good example of what I was just saying. First of all, Future Impact is bananas. That's it. I can't get my beats up. Just nasty work. But in terms of creative effects, and all of these, I believe these 9 series by Electro Harmonics, this, nobody told me this is just my theory. I believe these were designed with the Hog, like the Hog 2 was like the basis, like the thing that kind of allowed them to be able to do the key 9, mel 9, and then they just added their other effects, like with that choir sound on the mel 9, probably added that talking machine and some distortion, you know, things like that. Like even this sound. It's like an octave up. With some effects on it. You can hear that distortion in there. Same thing here, just different recipes. But I think these are really only tracking pitch, like an octaver, the mel 9, and then the rest of that's really effects. Even the key 9. That metallic sound, you can get that with a filter and a ring mod. And the Hog 2, like doing some stuff like that. Filter, octave up, upper octaves, distortion, filter. That sounds similar to trust me, if I spent enough time, I could get there. But have a good one. Appreciate you hanging out with me. Thank you. It means the world to me that y'all spend their Friday evening hanging out with your boy. So make sure you subscribe, like, and everything like before you go so you know when I go live, all that good stuff. But thank you for hanging out. while you had some time. Means the real. Come back see us sometime again. But yeah, a lot of these little sounds. Let's filter with some distortion and some other effects, or like it's I created a sound similar to this without this pedal before, but yeah, so like a lot of them get you, it's just like get you those combinations of effects. Now the V256 vocoder definitely is its own thing. And Electro Harmonics is known for their killer tracking, so I'm not surprised that the POG 3 is this super amazing pedal that it is. So, you know, it means it put a smile on my face, man, when I got it back. First of all, I wasn't expecting to get it back before Christmas. It came the day before Christmas. Sitting there on the porch and just looking, oh yes, my POG 3 is back. Then I plug it in and she all working and it just sound good and just come on now, like. And then I found out you can play it with a MIDI keyboard. Come on now, you ain't gonna beat that. So definitely check it out when you get a chance. You know, give me a matter of fact, don't check it out just yet. Give me a few weeks. Yeah, the Iron Lung is definitely a good vocoder pedal as well. It's just it's like a scaled down version of the V256. You know, just think of it as like the little brother or little sister of the this is the big boy. They're top of the line vocoder, and then that's like the next one up in the range. That, like, if you had a compact board or something, you didn't, this is a sizable pedal, this big orange one. So, definitely I think the Iron Lung is a good good investment, if you want to get into some vocoder playing, for sure. But that's all I'm going to do for this evening, guys. I definitely appreciate you hanging with me. It means the world. If you haven't already, hit that like button, subscribe. Check out my Patreon if you want to support the channel more, or if you would like to get any of the presets, packs I have available for things like the C4 synth, the Future Impact V4 and VIP, Enzo X, the Zoom B6, the MS-70 CDR Plus, MS-60B Plus, and Zoom B6. I think I said B6 already. But what else we got? I think that's it. Oh, and we got 11 different preamp packs available for the ToneX pedals and software. Things like the Aguilar AG preamp, Ampeg SGT, DI, the Gensler Magellan. We got the Gens Benz Shuttle 9, Little Mark 3. What else we got on there? The Harkey TX 600. We got the Laney Digbeth on there as well. So, we got quite a few different preamps on there. If you want to grab one, definitely helps out the channel a lot. And if you want to buy actual ToneX, you can do that through the link in the description. That helps out the channel as well. But make sure you follow me on all social media at the Bass Negus, Negus. And if you want to hear any of my original music, all these pedals and stuff. I did an entire album with no MIDI, just my bass and effects. That's eight tracks, and then I did another 2 tracks where it's me playing everything, bass, keys, and drums, and everything else you hear. And then there's another 2 singles on there where I had a few of my drummer friends join me. So check all that out over on the allbasscreations .bandcamp.com. I believe it is. What is that? It's on the screen. Y'all know what it is. Yeah, allbasscreations.bandcamp.com. So, all right. Catch you guys later. Y'all be safe out there.